Blues? Well, it's a style of music, or a form of music if you will, that originated in the late 1800s, early 1900s, part of the African American slave trade, and it developed more or less from the slaves singing something to keep their spirits up while everything around them seemed so bleak. Now the blues is a really, really good style to start with because of how simple it is to learn the basics and how complex it can become the more you do and the more you learn. But the basics are really straightforward, and they are that there are 3 chords played over a 12-bar structure, generally, using a special type of scale specifically created with the blues in mind. So these 3 chords are going to be, in this case, we're going to play it in A. We're going to use an A dominant 7 chord. What we're going to do for that is we're going to take the A chord that we know, and we're going to remove our middle finger to create that. Our next chord is going to be a D dominant 7. So we're going to take our D major chord and we're going to move the finger that's on the 3rd fret to the 1st fret and invert it, basically. So we've got a D7 chord. And our last chord is going to be called an E7 chord, which are going to be the E major chord without the ring finger. And all these dominant 7 chords is a major chord, major triad, which is made of the root, 3rd and 5th of the chord, with the minor, flattened 7th on the top. And that's what creates that really bluesy sound. And we know that each of these 3 chords is going to signify one of these numbers. So we're going to have the A, the root chord, that's going to be chord number 1. D, it's going to be chord number 4. And E, it's going to be chord number 5. And we only need those 3 chords to make up our blues. Now the scale that we're going to use for this is called the blues scale, and it's a scale that's more or less made up of a couple of different scales. And the basis of it is in a pentatonic minor scale, which sounds like this. Looks like this. And then we add what's called a blues note, which is going to be here and here. We're going to add that in, and that gives it that bluesy sound. So that is the scale that we're going to use, this A blues scale. And what we need to do is basically learn how these chords make up the 12 bars of the blues. So if we split it into 3 different sets of 4, our first set of 4 is going to be the chord 1, all just the chord 1. And in some blueses, you're going to get chord 1, then chord 4, then chord 1 a couple more times. So that would be... And the second line, you're going to have 4, chord 4, which is D dominant 7, that for 2 bars, and then back to the A for 2 bars. So that's going to sound like this. And then we have this sneaky appearance of the 5 chord, and then the 4 chord again once, and then the A chord for another 2 bars. got that together, that makes 12 bars, and it'll go something like this. So that's your 12-bar blues form. And over that, we're going to improvise using this blues scale. And the best way to do that as a new player is by actually recording yourself. So taking your phone, voice recorder, or anything else that you have that can record sound, and playing that 12-bar blues a couple of times through, just the chords, and then playing that back and just sort of fiddling around over the top of your played chords. Or another way to do it is like I was doing in the intro there, is by playing your chords and a bit of solo in the middle. Something like that. So you've got those two options. The best option obviously is playing with other people, but at the moment, not so easy. If you've got anyone in your house who plays an instrument, get them playing those chords. They're really simple chords, and play along with them, and that is probably the best way that you can go about practicing this blues. But there's lots of backing tracks on YouTube, if none of that works, that people have spent loads of time putting together. And they all sound really good, and they make it almost feel like you're playing with a band. So that is more or less the gist of the blues. More complicated stuff later on, you get different types of chords. You can use chromatics. You can use two different scales, pentatonic major for certain chords, and the minor pentatonic, which we've talked about, for other chords. And that more or less encompasses the one chord being major, and the four chord being more minor. So there's lots of things that you can do with the blues once you get a bit more advanced, and there's millions of tutorials on the internet that you can look up, and hopefully I'll go into it in a bit more detail as well at a later date. But this was just the very basics, what you need to know to get started with the blues, and it's a really good thing to practice. If you're a guitar player, you practice improvisation, you practice your chords, you learn so much from trying to play the blues, and I really recommend that you do it. So, have a good week and happy practicing.